Keep in mind that this is all speculation, but I've come up with some behind-the-scenes fan theories as to the Joker's origins in Gotham. So let's start off with the first one. The first and probably stupidest fan theory of them all is, remember when everyone thought the Penguin was going to have a twist where he was going to become the Joker? What? And their reason for basing it off of this was that the Penguin's anatomy was close to that of a normal human being's than that of the usual, say, Danny DeVito Penguin. Really, really stupid, was never gonna happen, glad it didn't. The Penguin is the Penguin, and there's no need to kind of... just... what? We're gonna roll the clocks back all the way to the Season 2, Episode 14, This Ball of Mud and Madness. This episode was quite hyped up in the media and publicity, as it would feature Laurie Petty playing a character called Jerry, who was kind of intended to be a part of the madness that Jerome sort of had over Gotham City after the last laugh. There were a lot of news articles and everything of people saying that this is Gotham's new Joker, and at that time the show had kind of moved into a direction where anybody could be the Joker after Cameron Monaghan, as it was implied that Cameron Monaghan had kind of brought about a new age of insanity. Now, while Jerry wasn't exactly as much of a cackling sociopath as Jerome, she was part of a death cult for a start, and she was more of a rock star sort of take on the character. As well as that, it was hyped that she'd be kind of the first female Joker in live action, but what I find so strange is after all the hype, it kind of didn't go anywhere, you know? After the episode, she wasn't very talked about, and you know, I guess that's just kind of because people were not expecting this as really the Joker. I think she probably got dealt a bit of a bad hand with that. But given all the hype that came beforehand about her being Gotham's next Joker and everything, I think she was intended to make some form of return, but there was probably just a lack of interest that they wanted in this character, which is a shame. I do feel for her and everything, but I think, you know, that's understandable. I think if they were intending for Cameron Monaghan to be the first of a number of great actors to portray this role, that they were pretty aware that they'd shot their bolt with Cameron Monaghan. And I think that was the thing, is that Cameron Monaghan played a very conventional Joker minus makeup. Laurie Petty played a very different character. However, she is the only one of the Joker characters in Gotham to sport white face, red lips, and green hair. So, I mean, there is at least that claim that she's got anyway. This next one isn't really a fan theory, and I'm well aware that Boba Talks has already done a video on this himself.
That guy is always taking my jokes and faster to the punchline. That junkyard Judas.
Basically, the Gotham producers just wanted Jerome dead for some reason. His death in Season 2 was intended to be the end of the character, however, the Gotham producers were still open to Cameron Monaghan returning in some shape or form. However, when Jerome was killed off at the end of the last laugh in the beginning of Season 2, a lot of people kind of stopped watching, and there was a lot of outrage on the internet, and understandably, the social media side of the Gotham production team saw this, and they saw that Jerome was quite a big talking point for this show, and is something that would always draw in audience. Season 3 definitely suffered a dip in viewership in its first half, and they were given 3 episodes to sort of turn this around, so obviously the right decision was to bring back Jerome. But they intended on killing him once again by having Bruce actually go through with killing him in the Hall of Mirrors. However, they decided to have Jerome's sort of salvation at the hands of Bruce be kind of a character-defining moment for Bruce Wayne instead, giving this story more of a sense of meaning. And I think that was definitely the right road to go down, because otherwise this story would have been pretty pointless. It would have just been a little time waster where you get to see your favourite character again before poof, off he goes. I mean, it's not like it hasn't been established that he could just return again, but I think the producers of Gotham legitimately, unironically wanted to go through with this story that Jerome is just the inspiration of the Joker, and that the real Joker is just like, wow, look at that guy, I want to be just like him. To which I say, ha ha ha, oh, aha, and I thought my jokes were bad. No, really, it seems as though that was the direction they wanted to go down, was that the Joker was just some inspired kid that was like, wow, that looks fun. Can you imagine if they actually went through with that as the story for the Joker? I mean, I like, it takes a minute to just think, what story's better for the Joker? The story we've been pursuing with Cameron Monaghan, the perfect actor for the role, or the idea of a completely unknown just watching him on TV and thinking, wow. Which is why I'm honestly so grateful that they went for the story that they did in the end with Jeremiah. And I think they kind of... It seems so stupid to me, but I think they kind of reluctantly realized that no one was going to accept anyone else other than Cameron Monaghan in this role, so they were just like, come on then, twin brother, let's do this. Unless the idea was that we had Jerome follow him up with a number of very different takes on the Joker and then have Cameron Monaghan back to play the final Joker in the end. I mean, that's my speculation of what an initial idea was. Because, to be honest, like... to just say, alright, there's your bit, you played the Joker so well, but you're not the Joker, off you go, Cameron, just seems very fickle. And I honestly don't believe that this is entirely to do with, like, Warner Brothers sniffing down their neck saying, oi, I told you not to use the Joker. Because then why would they have even bothered going down this path to begin with? There would have always been a final outcome in mind, you know, a final sort of Joker, or Jay, or whatever they're allowed to call him. I mean, to be honest, from season 1, before Jerome's episode, I was like, I can't accept that this show hasn't got a Joker in it, and I think that's a good way of going about it. We can explore other villains that haven't been so explored in film before. I was legitimately saying, from episode 1 of season 1, I don't want them to do the Joker because he's had so much exposition in the recent years, in the Arkham games, in the Dark Knight and everything. He's been done so well already. I would love to just follow through our story with the Penguin, the Riddler, and my favourite villain of all, the Balloon Man. But then just, like, Cameron Monaghan comes in, and I'm just like, okay, let's do more of this. This is too good to pass up, really. And that's the weird thing, is the Gotham producers really seemed really prepared to just pass that up and say, yeah, he was just one of a bunch. Okay, so for my final theory, I've actually drawn inspiration from the Instagram account of Michael Maddy. There's a lot of edited images that he's made of, like, Jerome as the Joker. From like the season 4 episode, and there's just one where he's all Arkham Joker looking, which was allegedly like a deleted concept for the Joker's final design, or just an edit. Like no one really knows what the origin of that is. But then there's one where it's just Jerome but with red lips and green hair, and he's, you know, facing off against Jeremiah and everything, and it leads me to believe in a new theory. So this theory dates back to Mandatory Brunch Meeting, where we had the unveiling of Jeremiah Valeska, and as well as that, the unveiling of the patented Joker gas. Now, the cinematography in the scene where Jerome and Jeremiah first face each other was very much to signify that Jerome was like Jeremiah's final destination. Like, it's a reflection of him that's in tatters, and it's, you know, it's got a sign pointing towards it saying the end, and it's just he's faced by his own craziness and inner demons. The idea is that he's looking into his future when he's looking at Jerome, and it's something he's been trying to run away from for like years and years, so much to the point where he's built a maze and everything. It's amazing! I don't know why I did that. I just want to end it all. Alright, so as we know, the whole Mandatory Brunch Meeting / That's Entertainment makes up the final story for Jerome. And I think they knew, as well as we knew, exactly what we wanted to see from a final Jerome story, right? It's him becoming the Joker. And you know, I actually believe this was meant to happen. Temporarily. I believe they were still going to go down the route that they did with Jeremiah and everything. However, I believe that for his final story, Jerome was meant to get accidentally doused by the insanity gas when it was still in the testing stages, and it didn't work on him. It didn't turn him into a complete loony and stuff, but it did bleach his skin and lips and everything, kind of setting up the result that it would have with Jeremiah in the end. And then the idea is we're watching, we're like, oh my god, did you see that? Jerome just became the Joker. And then when he croaks it and stuff, it's a shocking twist again, because it's like, wow, Gotham just killed off the closest thing it had to a Joker in season 2. Now it's gone so far as to kill off the Joker, and then when Jeremiah gets the puffed in his face, it takes it to a double twist. It takes the twist to another level. And I believe this would have definitely set the episode on another level and really accentuated the whole thing of Jeremiah looking unto his destiny with the sign pointing at it saying the end and everything. I think this is definitely something that could have happened, but I feel like had they done this, I feel like there was probably some sense of awareness that it would be like, well, Jerome was the first Joker and everything, so do we really need Jeremiah and everything? You know, I get the feeling that they took this away from Jerome to give Jeremiah some sense of advantage over him, because I believe that we were not supposed to like Jeremiah as much as we liked Jerome in those early stories. That was the route that they took, so that when he did go into Ace Chemicals, that's when he became the Joker. It's a story that took patience. I think that's the thing a lot of people, including myself, didn't get.
And the only patient here is me.
Am I doing that too much? Say if I'm doing that too much. I had some comments on the Killing Joke video saying I should do that more, but let me know if I'm doing that too much.
So that wraps up our video for today, folks. Tune in next time for more just like this. And remember, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you've done that already, thank you so much. You're a valued viewer.
Yeah, no, see, that's the thing. I get the feeling that that's just cringe. Like, tell me if that's cringe, okay? Actually, don't. Preserve my feelings. I'm very sensitive towards that sort of stuff. I love you guys.